Thanks for dropping in. Just let me ask you this. If you was to put a name on yourself by way of profession, by way of business, or by what occupies your time, what would you call yourself? Because I've never really sort of given it a whole lot of thought myself. I've just listened to what other people have called me. When I was a late teenager, they called me a wide boy. And then through my 20s, they called me a salesman. Occasionally, they called me a businessman. As I got older, they actually called me an entrepreneur. And I didn't really know what that meant. It's a word that's thrown about now much more commonly today than it was when I first heard it. And you know, the strange thing is that I've gone on from there now. And of recent times, people have started calling me a raconteur. And you know, I didn't know what that meant either. I had to look it up on Google to find out. And I suppose, yeah, to some extent, I am. You know, the main thing that I am is a very, very wealthy, personal individual. I wasn't always such. I mean, I was born penniless. I was brought up in a working class town in north of England. I still have the accent and still have the bad grammar. I get quite a few comments about that all over the world. But also I get quite a few comments on how wealthy I am. Now, how have I done that? How is it that I was a Rolls-Royce owner-driver for 32 years? How is it I live in exactly the house that I want to live in? How come I've flown round this world so many times I've lost count? Very recently, a lovely lady by the name of Avril, and I think that's a super name, actually told me that she wanted more of my stories from rags to riches. And you know, it was a little bit of a surprise to me what she said, because we never thought we lived in rags. You know, way back in those days of the 1950s, we didn't think of it as rags. Nobody had a lot of money. You know, there was still rationing from World War II. That was how life was. I did have thoughts I wanted a lot better. I wanted to live a lot better. And that's where my motivation came from. And my motivation also came from looking at the correct books and looking at the correct films and being able to show myself the way I wanted to go in life. Schools don't. Most parents don't. There is a thing called personal motivation. It's something very private and it's something just for you. So many times that if you tell the person standing at the side of you that you're going to do something big in life, they tell you why not. They tell you why you can't do it. You know, most people have told me all my life what I can't do. It's ridiculous. If I tell them what I can do, they used to laugh at me. I can remember when I was 22 telling someone that I wanted a Rolls-Royce. As far as I know, they're still laughing now. But from being 22 to being 54, I've had 10 different Rolls-Royce motor cars, and more than one at once. Why? How? You know, nothing is difficult when you know how. If, for example, you knew how to walk on water, you wouldn't really be able to understand why other people couldn't do it. Question is, would you show them how? And all right, that's a very serious sort of comparison, but it's what it comes down to. Sometimes I have to say something of that ilk to make people listen. You see, I can show you just exactly how I got to where I am in life. And the thing about that is that I can show you so that you can do it, so that you can do whatever part of it you want to do. You know? Just tell me right now if there's anything in your life that you're not satisfied with. Go on, be honest. Because in all probability there'll be so much you wouldn't even know where to start and list it. But supposing I could show you how to slowly reduce that list from all minus factors to all plus factors, I doubt there's anybody else out there going to show you. You know, and why? Why do I want to show you? Well, I want to show you because it's just something I like doing. I've got to find a way of filling my retirement and staying away from getting bored. And the way I'd like to do it is to show other people how I've done it so that they can take whatever small part of the lesson, apply it to themselves, and get away from this, well, all this credit that people live in and all this, the slum conditions that still exist. You know, it's amazing really how much television you can watch. It's all made for people that sort of got loads of money, or people that can take holidays all over the world. You know, 80% of the British public are so far in debt, it's unbelievable. Are you one of them? Why are you watching this little recording in the first place? Because you're hoping you're going to find something that'll improve your life. Well, if you've got the guts, the tenacity, courage, call it what you like, to take up this offer, we at Null House Interforum is going to show you how to do that. We're not going to ask you to vote for any political party or system. We're not going to ask you to dress in a particular way or salute us or anything like that. All we're going to do is to show you how you could escape the trap, if you like, of modern life that, well, it actually imprisons people in their job, in debt, or it doesn't give them the freedom that personality can give you by being your own person, by being self-employed, by looking after you first so that you can look after others in a similar manner second. None of it's easy to say, none of it's easy to swallow, but it's worth looking into. You can look into it, quite simply. I'm Reggie G, and this is Null House Interforum. It's where you can look. I hope you go through the pages. The forum now is getting quite large and quite voluminous. The number of virtual pages is tremendous. I don't know exactly how long it takes newcomers to look through the forum, but you certainly can't do it in less than a couple of hours. So, mark this site, come back to it later, and have a look at really what it is that we are offering. Give it a coat of thinking about, as we say here in the north of England. Thanks for dropping in.